Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming and via YouTube streaming, also via Skype online. This morning's streaming is special for certain reasons. I will reflect on two things. Number one, the theme Tasavvur-e-Sheikh, and also the life a Sufi who entered into the cosmic realm on 11th of December this year. Master the basic way to transformation. Master the passive way to transformation. This is an excerpt from Tasavvur-e-Sheikh. This Sufi named Lakshmi Sahaya happened to be my physical father. In 1989, when he visited United States, I decided that I will become the medium for his biography. So choose the topic Tasavvur-e-Sheikh. I asked him to reminisce his meetings with his master, Sufi Brij Mohan Lal, who happened to be his father-in-law as well. In the beginning he did not like, but as the time went on, he enjoyed as I keep on pestering him to look into the various aspects. Before meeting him, the prelude when he was asked to go and meet his future master. Then when he went for the first time in the company of the master, it was January 1949 when he was asked by one of his friends who was the disciple of Sufi Brij Mohan Lal to arrange for a meeting between the two. In order to find a suitable match for his daughter, Sufi Brij Mohan Lal wrote a note to this person who happened to be the friend of my father, that your sister is of marriageable age, find a suitable husband for her. So it happened that he did not want to mention to him about this. Instead, he said that I am going to meet my master, would you accompany me? He goes there and meet the master. And on 21st of February 1949, the marriage took place between my father and mother. Thus, a new bond began. I will explain before I go into how one should enter into life and death. Now, birth was not in your hand, but death is in your hand. It depends on your preparation that you can enter death consciously or unconsciously. A day before 11th of December, he called his youngest son where he was staying. Son, let me write some blank checks for you because you seem to have too many expenses. So he told, Father, I do not need the money. He said, no, let me write a few blank checks. And he wrote a few blank checks and gave it to him. Then he was making jokes, laughing. He had the inkling. So he expressed desire to eat a particular kind of a food which is known as stuffed paratha according to Indian taste. He ate that on 11th of December. There was some pain or something. He didn't want to go to the hospital, but his son took him to the hospital. And before he could reach the hospital and the body could be taken out of the car, looked like he passed away that time. Then the body was brought, and as if that some things were taking place divinely, normally it takes a long time for funeral arrangements and everything. 7 o'clock on that day he entered into samadhi because it was conscious, and by 8 o'clock the body was brought home, and by 4:30 the cremation had finished. When the body was being cremated, it looked as if he is alive, just lying down. And everyone was surprised how things took place with such an ease that is almost impossible to believe. One who lived his life consciously, and a few years before his final merger with his master, he spent most of his time in meditation and a silent communion. He hardly talked to the people except what was necessary and remained mostly quiet. So the master, the passive way to transformation, he did not know. The transformation was continuing. A sheikh, a master is your wakefulness. Allow him to penetrate various layers of your being. Cause willingness on your part, allows the energy field of the master to reach the dark caves of your being as nur, as light, as awareness. A master, a sheikh is your wakefulness. Allow him to penetrate various layers of your being, cause willingness on your part, allows the energy field of the sheikh, of the master, reach the dark caves as nur, as light, as awareness. Almost all the realized ones emphasize that you cannot be enlightened without a master. Yet still there are others like Jiddu Krishnamurti who say one need no master to attain to enlightenment. Both are correct in their own way. These represents two extreme stages in the process of inner development. To be in the company of the master, to be in tune with him, is a unique event. The relationship, a master is like an electrical terminal. To connect your equipment to that electrical terminal, you need a wire. You need an electrical cord. And you connect one end of the electrical cord or into the electrical socket, and the other attaches to your device. If there is a malfunctioning in that device, the current which is constantly flowing in the terminal will not reach the equipment, be it your laptop or phone or anything that you want to charge. So your association, your trust becomes that invisible cord that connects you to the master and allows his energy to flow through you. To be in the company of the master is a unique event. Master implies one who keeps on knocking at your door. This is not aggressive in any way. He is the most passive way. It is like water falling drop by drop on the rock. When the master Kaushiki called Hoshin, it was a soft, gentle call. Master cannot be hard and aggressive. The call is water falling on the rock, drop by drop. This will break even the hardest rock. Master will keep on calling so that the rock of the mind, blocking enlightenment, will break one day. Chinese master Lao Tse, who coined the term Tao, says master is like the water and you are like a rock. But remember, in the end, only you will vanish. You as ego will vanish. But remember, in the end, you will vanish. The fall of the water drops is not like the knock of a hammer. Water will keep on falling on the rock, and one day the rock will break into the particles and become sand. The knock of the master is sweet and deep. It is sweet not because it will put you into sleep. It is sweet because it overflows from the compassion of the master, from the deepest core of his being. On the other hand, all knocks of lust and desire are hard. Lust has no concern with you. Out of lust, you use the other as an instrument or means. It matters not if it is between lover and beloved, between mother and child, husband and wife. In this call, the other is reduced as means. You remain the end. No wonder friends remain restless, lovers remain worried. The cause of this remains the exploitation of the other. The other is reduced to a mere object, and this is not accepted. The other feels insulted. The master calls out of compassion. The call of the master works like the water drops, and if this is allowed to continue, the process of transformation begins. This is what happened between Lakshmi Sahai and his master Sufi Brij Mohan Lal. The call of the master and the response of the disciple put together is sadhana, is satsang, is communion, whatsoever you may call. If the disciple does not listen, the communion cannot happen. If the disciple is not open, the communion will not happen. The master is available, but the disciple is not. If you have heard the master totally, disciple will be no more, but you listen only in fragments. Your sleep is disturbed. You open your eyes and you then go back to sleep. A moment comes in, a word of the master that appeals to you, reaches to the inner core, and then you fall back into your deep unconscious. You indicate this much that you have heard. Communion has begun. This is the story of satsang or communion or journey of transformation. The master is calling, the disciple is listening, but not understanding fully. If the trust is there and disciple continues to listen, trust grows. So when the master calls, the disciple responds. At least at the call of the master, he is not getting angry. Many times when I speak to you, you express, your gestures express that you did not understand. And you did not make any effort to understand this either. You shrug your shoulders or some other kind of expression comes on your face. If you do not understand something now, you may understand it later. So when the master calls, the disciple responds. At least at the call of the master, he is not getting angry, he is not shrugging his shoulders. Had you been in place of Hoshin, anger was natural. When master calls Hoshin, he says, yes, master. He calls back again. 3 times master calls the disciple Hoshin. Had you been in place of him, natural anger was natural. He is calling, but he is not saying why is he calling. Such is the passive call of the master. He calls you by name. You are sleeping. It is the cool breeze of the morning. You want to take a nap again, but the master calls you by name. You respond to him, yes, master. But he does not say anything. He becomes quiet. Then he calls you back again. You say, yes, master. Anger is natural to come in. Why are you calling me again and again? Tell me what is the matter. But he does not say so. This is the way of the master. He calls you again by name. And then slowly and slowly the disciple understands that it is a call of transformation. You may get naturally angry. Why is this man calling unnecessarily? Say something or be quiet. Let me take a sleep. This is not trust, but this is what happens when you shrug your shoulders. It is that you do not understand, there is no trust, and you are expressing your anger by shrugging shoulders. One thing you have to understand. Certainly there is doubt in the minds of the disciple. He tries to show, but he could not escape the eye of the master. That is why, Having called Hoshin 3 times, the master asks for forgiveness. Many times the master will tell the disciple when he sees that the disciple is shrugging his shoulder or frowning his face or something, he asks for forgiveness. If the disciple has total trust, then there is no need to ask for forgiveness. But Hoshin, the disciple, is honest as he expresses his doubts. To express the doubt is courageous. It requires tremendous courage. And this is only way one can grow into trust. There are 2 things. One is belief. You are conditioned into belief. But doubt bridges the outer and the inner, the known and unknown. With doubt, it is a scientific inquiry. You form a hypothesis and you inquire into it. You grow. Doubt requires tremendous courage. It is the only way you can grow into your trust. If you may hide your doubt, but it will always find expression in one way or the other. No matter how much you talk of surrender, it will remain incomplete even if slightest doubt remains. And it expresses itself in many ways, and you will live in delusion. It may have happened to you. It may have happened to you. Put your doubt in the basement and trust on top. Let doubt bridge between the known and unknown. Your doubt will continue to destroy your trust. To exhibit your trust on the surface, much effort will be needed on your part, while your hidden doubt and conditioned belief system will continue to exert its force onto the surface. Any event in doubt can come on the surface. Have you seen 2 wrestlers to fight? One sits on top of the other, uses force to remain on top for a count of 10, while the other wrestler who is underneath uses his force to come on top before the count of 10. The man who is sitting on top has to use his force, and one below need not use his force to remain below. Sooner or later, the one who is on top will get exhausted, and then the one who is below will surface on top. So too, you need your trust on top. Doubt remains below. Trust is getting exhausted. Doubt is resting. And it does not take long for doubt to surface. But Hoshin is not hiding his doubt. The moment their doubt comes in your mind, without any expression of doubt on your face or through your gestures, allow it to express. Can you explain this to me? The disciple does not get angry or says, "Why are you calling me unnecessary?" Only then transformation can happen. He did not shrug his shoulders. He did not frown his forehead. Instead, in that way you hide your doubt. He expressed his doubt. Or you can be like a Christian mystic, Tertullian. He used to pray every day, and his prayer has one sentence included: "I have trust in you, but you have to take care of the doubt that is brewing in me. I have trust in you, but you have to take care of the doubt that is brewing in me. He was honest. He is not hiding the doubt. He openly accepts his doubt, but prays to God to take care of this menace of doubt while he maintains the trust. I have heard of a master who went to meet another master. There he saw respect and trust among the disciple for the master. The first one confessed his disciples do not have much trust and respect. Do something for this. The second mystic told the first one he would come to his house for dinner, then he will sort out the matter. The second mystic one day reached the house of the first master for the dinner, but his feet were full of mud because the day was raining and he had to walk. The host mystic asked his wife to bring some water so that the feet of the guest could be washed. The wife replied from inside, "The water well is not far away. Take your guest there to wash the feet, and maybe give him a bath as well. And by the way, where have you been in the morning when water was being drawn from the well?" The two went to wash the feet. After the dinner, the host asked for the solution from the guest. At this, the guest told him to come for dinner tomorrow by his house. Next day, the mystic who had the problem that his disciple do not listen to him, went to the other mystic's residence as was arranged. The host called his wife to bring a pot of ghee to wash the feet of the ghee, the clarified butter, something more auspicious, to wash the feet as he has come for the first time. The wife used the entire pot and washed the feet. She did not respond. After the dinner was over, the host asked the mystic if he got the solution. The guest responded in affirmative. Trust is the shadow of love. What is trust? Trust is the shadow of love. Where love is, acceptance is. Where trust is the shadow of love, where love is, acceptance is, trust follows. Have you noticed, when you are in love, you call your beloved again and again. Each time she responds in affirmation with loving gestures. And you say that you are my disciple when I tell you something. You shrug your shoulders. There is neither love nor trust. All your forehead frowns. This does not mean that the wife's mind does not have thoughts arising. Mind's nature is to arouse thoughts. She would have really thought that ghee is expensive and feet can be washed with water. Many such thoughts would have been arising, but in spite of all these thoughts, love for her husband came to the surface. Love never doubts. If he says, some reason must be there. If he says something, some reason must be there. So too when the master calls, thoughts stir in the mind. But a disciple knows when the master calls, there must be a reason. The disciple may not know today, but one day everything will reveal itself. Certainly there is doubt in the mind. Mind always doubts. And doubt can become a bridge to connect the known and unknown. Doubt can become the bridge to connect to the disciple and the master. It is natural. But if doubt is within, do not hide. Try to understand the nature of doubt. Do not allow doubt to activate. Do not allow trust to suppress the doubt. If doubt is within, wait. Time will come when doubt will vanish on its own. But you follow the trust. Disciple means she has not grown fully in trust. One who has grown fully in trust is master. Now the partial trust can be used in two ways. One, you can ride the doubt. This will even cripple your trust because you get bound by that which is suppressed. Inner conflict between doubt and trust will arise. Your energy will dissipate. When your left hand and the right hand fight with one another, naturally your energy wastes. Activate your trust without hiding your doubt. Remember, activate your trust without hiding your doubt, but wait for the right moment. Do not focus on doubt. Instead, focus your entire energy on your trust for the master, your love for the master. When Hoshin responded to the master in affirmative, the response arose out of deep trust. Doubt is staring, but his response shatters doubt for the moment. In the beginning, things happen like this. Master will create many such situations. Without any situation, your dhyan will not flow towards trust. Master will hit you many times. He will behave many times indifferent, beyond your expectation and understanding. Master will not fulfill your expectations. If anyone does so, know him as counterfeit. Master's role is to transform you, not to fulfill the desires. So when the master calls, thoughts stir in your mind, but a disciple knows when the master calls, there must be a reason, or when master says something, there must be a reason. As a disciple, you may not know today, but one day, everything will reveal itself. Certainly, there is doubt in his mind. We will continue to reflect through the life and the works of Sufi Lakshmi Sahai, who entered into the cosmic realm on 11th of December. Tomorrow again we look into his life. And the best way of looking into his life is through tasawwur-e-sheikh, the remembrance of the master, which reflects the biography where how he entered into communion with his master is explained in various ways. Only this much for this morning. Until tomorrow, take care and do have a pleasant day.